I'm gonna shave all my hair off and I'm gonna be celibate.
The 4B, whatever.
4B movement, people shaving their head. What the hell are you doing?
No one was gonna touch you anyways.
Can you guys stop with the 4B comments? Because you're not going to do it. You're not committed.
Shaving your head? Did it ever occur to you to at least donate your hair?
These are the same people who tell us that a bald, obese woman is beautiful. They themselves don't even believe the words that they're saying.
I think that liberal women are finally starting to understand what pro-life conservative women have been telling them for years. Your life will be better if you stop sleeping with crappy men.
A concept once, and all of a sudden you just want to adopt it as though it's a puzzle piece that you found on the floor.
They think men will be sad, forgetting that men started the men going their own way movement years ago.
Girls, nobody's coming after your rights.
Do you realize how f***ing you look shaving your head?
Preach about being here for women and women's rights. The second you get a chance to help a woman out, you're kind of give us the middle finger.
I think people got it messed up with the 4B movement. They're like, so women just aren't gonna get it from anywhere. They're just gonna go without. How are they gonna survive? First off, I think you underestimate what's in my nightstand.
I don't think that, because men don't care about that. Whether you get the thing or not, they are too preoccupied with their lives.
Secondly, some of us also found liberal men with vasectomies, and I can promise you he will not be going without. All right? If my friends are really down that bad, I'll be like, hey, you want a rental? I have no problem with that.
When someone tries to desperately prove themselves, it's concerning to say the least. So basically, this 4B movement is women deciding to no longer have sex with men for 4 years, to be alone in that time, to shave their hair, not to do makeup, and many other things. Specifically, not sleeping with men who voted, and also not wanting to get pregnant anymore. This will backfire for sure, because one day they will snap out of it, but it will be too late. Please, don't hold back. They're not getting anything anyway.
Woke up this morning feeling spicy. You guys feel spicy? Because I do. All right. I don't know how to use this thing. Let's see what happens. Is this cutting off hair? I'm going to have to cut it shorter than that. Buzz it down, right? I think that this is too... It's getting hair. Let's see here. Maybe I got to cut it.
They can't even do it right.
Here we go. Have I given up on America? I've also given up on coloring this hair because, right? Coloring my hair, having my hair be long and luxurious.
So apparently there's a lot of women that are supporting the 4B movement by shaving their heads. I'm all in favor of that if that's what you want to do. However, you're going to need a good razor. This razor is going to give you a nice close shave.
This is how men live a happy life. Even in chaos, they can find humor in situations. And by not taking life too seriously, they live happier and longer.
I just looked up what the 4B movement is. And I literally fell to the ground crying. I had finally pulled myself together today because we actually are in a dangerous situation.
What happened to fair play and accepting the outcome?
We actually have a fire that started and it is very close to where I live, and people are now losing their homes. Not believe that that was something that had to be done, and that now we are at our rock bottom and this is where we are at. I feel like I'm in a different world today. This is so heartbreaking.
She's right on this one.
Not just talking just removing the app. I full on removed myself from Hinge, Bumble. I didn't even think twice about it.
Congratulations. Do you want a gold medal?
There's no way I am letting any man near me for the next few years. I've been happily single for the past 4 years.
Don't worry, men aren't interested nowadays.
I can wait another 4 years, but it is way too scary to try and trust anyone right now because anything can happen. And if you know me, you know one of my biggest fears is being pregnant. God forbid that ever happened.
This is what social media did. Back in the days, being pregnant and having a family was every woman's dream.
Over the next few years, so no dating apps. If you are a man, don't even look at me.
Trust me, no man will do so. You have my word.
Until, you know what? Ever again.
Wish granted.
Southern women, we have been summoned, okay? And it is time for us to start our counter 4B movement. Now, I am not the Etsy type, and I think that these 4B women are learning the hard way that they should have probably asked about us before coming for us, but it's too little too late.
I'm glad there are still traditional women out there.
Okay, they have woken the beast that usually stays all the way up out the way, is non-problematic, and just stays in our little Appalachia home, okay? But they've summoned us. So what we're gonna do, have green bracelets, because we are a walking green flag.
This movement makes the majority look bad, but men know there are still good ones out there.
Not a walking blue-haired red flag, okay? And we're gonna unite. And it goes without saying, honey, we all ride at dawn, but don't worry, we will be home in time from the molly-whoppization that's about to happen, in time to get the casserole and the bread out of the oven.
I'm pretty sure most men won't care. The cat population will go through the roof.
No way in hell I'm leaving my man. I'm not here to judge anybody doing this 4B movement, but telling people to divorce their husbands is crazy. First of all, this is the type of movement that is never going to work if every woman in America is not on board.
It's true. It makes no sense.
What's going to happen is that a handful of y'all are going to leave your husbands and end up miserable and alone while your husband is laid up with somebody new. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Like, I just seen a video and the lady was like, divorce your husbands immediately if you can. Scary amount of women on there that was like, yep, I've been telling everybody to divorce their husbands. And then she went on to tell people to poison, murder their husbands.
See how dangerous this is getting. God forbid.
Ma'am, you're advocating for murder. No one sees an issue with that. And then, again, a scary amount of comments like, yep.
We're not going to dye our hair anymore. We're not going to do makeup. We're not gonna use filters. We're not gonna go get the skin stuff. We're not gonna dress up and look nice.
That's your life. Men don't care what you do in it.
Why? So that they can come and act like they own us because we look like this? Absolutely not. No, y'all. The 4B movement means like we gonna be cozy comfy in our own skin.
That movement is a plan with no actual plan. Only doomed to fail.
But at the same time, like, I'm sorry, you do not have control over my reproductive rights. You do not have control over my body. You do not have control over what I do with my body.
I'm glad I don't.
Because when you try something, just watch what happens. This is being used without a filter. I usually do a filter, but you know what? I'm done using filters.
I'm all for the 4B movement, but please be safe. These are the same men that say women should go back to being in the house.
No man said that.
Same men that tweet your body my choice forever. You already have men upset in the podcast. Remind yourselves that it's single men who are more depressed than women.
That is absolutely not true. And by proof, just look at the comments. All the single men claim to be at peace and with extra money.
Now, if you take away your casual hookup, your situationship, and there are a bunch of women who just stopped dating entirely, you are going to wake up a group of angry men. So I caution you, if you can get strapped up, get strapped up. If straps aren't your thing, please be cautious going out by yourselves.
The only thing that makes men angry is arguments, and that's why they go single.
Go out in groups of 3 or 4. Go out with the male friend if you can.
She just contradicted all her talk, saying how to avoid men. And then in the last part, she said to go along with male friends when out, clearly hinting that the same man will provide protection and safety.
This goes out to all the women who are now participating in the 4B movement. Congratulations, you finally figured out what abstinence is. You also figured out that it's kind of important that you want to have a good relationship with the person that you're having sex with, because when you're doing the act of procreation, there's a slight possibility that you might actually procreate. Pardon my French, but how dare you that you sit in America and all your privilege and shave your head and post some of the most horrendous, awful, evil, and just disgusting things that I have ever read and seen.
She's right. This behavior is rude, especially when they live in a safe country that provides everything.
On the internet, directed towards other women who simply just voted different than you, then called for the eradication of an entire color of men, also just because they voted different to you. You sit there and you fearmonger so bad to women in America, while there are women overseas where it is illegal for their voices to even be heard.
Exactly. There are a lot of other people that need help and attention.
What are we to make of the 4B movement? Are we supposed to ridicule these women, or do we choose compassion? And I want to be very clear. that looking at this 4B movement, looking at these people that are having breakdowns, looking at, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done with you.
In my humble opinion, I think it will backfire and be forgotten soon.
I am choosing not to be compassionate, okay? I think these people should be ridiculed, and I believe that these people should be condemned, and I'm going to tell you why. It is because compassion is the reason that we are in this circumstance. This is what nobody wants to tell you, okay? Everybody wants to be kind, to give hugs. That is the problem.
The world has become soft.
These are the most remarkably privileged people in the entire world, and they're privileged because we are giving them too much compassion. We tell them every feeling that they have is valid. It's not. Every feeling that you have is not valid. I have to check myself, check my sisters. This is the point in telling the truth, is that it tells people, no, actually, you need to regulate your emotion.
The problem is that at the start of the world, there were hard times, and hard times create hard men. But hard men work hard to provide an easy life, and that easy life, unfortunately, creates a soft generation.
I don't need to validate them. You need to regulate them. And somehow, in the last 15 years, things completely changed, and we just said to people, every feeling and emotion that you have is valid.
And that is a grave mistake.
Movements.
P is actually a Chinese character for saying not to do. So 4B means females do not want to have sex. They do not want to date Korean men. They do not want to marry, and they do not want to give birth.
So why do you think that particular ideology or these catchphrases became this international thing where even BBC and CNN, they're only talking about?
Because people just like new events to stay entertained, and the media helps spread that.
Oh, this is because of 4B movement.
And I think it's because it's really catchy, and it's quite very much related to the low fertility rate.
That rate will only go down from now on.
But it's not a general mainstream idea. Most of the females, they do not want to get married or give birth because of many other reasons. For example, like unaffordable house prices and the child care that they need to undertake.
Men will save lots of money with this movement. As a man, I like this movement. The world won't be overpopulated. Good.
Kings, the 4B movement is just the woman's version of involuntary celibacy. The way intimacy works is they say that women control access to physical intimacy and that men control access to relationships. Men who cannot get physical intimacy are then deemed involuntarily celibate. Women who can't get a guy to commit to a relationship and girls who keep getting played
because they can't get it
are joining the 4B movement because they keep giving up their physical intimacy, and in exchange they can't seem to get a relationship. So they said, we're done trying to have relationships with guys because we keep striking out. And this group thinks that they're being slick, going, we're just not going to give guys what they want. We're choosing to walk away from men.
Sometimes they pretend not to want it.
But everybody in their right mind wants a positive relationship. Everyone in their right mind wants somebody for them. And these are straight women in 4B, which means they would prefer to have a good man. But they have said very loudly that they're giving up on men in general because they can't find a good man.
But men know exactly how it is going.
Meaning that all of their attempts have failed.
But the reality is that they are the ones that failed to do so. Well, guys, that was all for today. We'll be back soon.